Hey heroes, Cap here and welcome to the channel. Today I want to take a look at Thor, specifically Thor in Marvel's Avengers. Now, if you remember, Thor's storyline kind of seemed short. He got like abruptly entered into the campaign and nothing really happened with his iconic missions or anything else that they were going to do. So I want to take a look and see what possibilities they could have had, where they cut short, and maybe what was his story actually supposed to be. If you go on and enjoy the video, be sure to smash the thumbs up and hit the subscribe and come along for the journey as I dive into more of the Marvel's Avengers lore and any more video game news that comes out. Without further ado, let's jump in and take a look at Thor and his storyline. In Marvel's Avengers, Thor was kind of reintroduced into the campaign once the helicarrier was being attacked by AIM and MODOK and looked like it was about to go down. Things are falling from the ceiling, chaos is being caused, and Thor just calls Mjolnir, saves the reporter, and flies up and helps the Avengers to save the helicarrier before it crashes. Now, this is kind of interesting the way they brought him in, as it kind of seemed as if they were going to go along the Unworthy Thor kind of storyline compared to what they actually did, which was just kind of like bring him in. Here he is. There you go. You have Thor, which is kind of interesting, especially since we got the Unworthy skin in Marvel's Avengers. Take a look. So here we have the marketplace, because I don't have this skin on my Thor just yet, but the Unworthy skin right here showing off pretty much the Unworthy Thor that we know from the comic books. Now, if you're not familiar with the Unworthy Thor storyline, it involves him no longer being called Thor, but being called Odinson pretty much the entire time in this 5-issue run comic series. He has to go find his powers, find his abilities to be called Thor again, and find this ultimate Mjolnir weapon. Now, during this, he runs into Beta Ray Bill, who helps him along the way. He has to fight Thanos, Proxima Midnight, all kinds of enemies who are also trying to get this great power, which is kind of interesting with how they portrayed his story after they reintroduced him to the campaign in the iconic missions. But as you see here, they pretty much wanted to do the Unworthy storyline. This is exactly what he looks like in the comics. He's got the arm, he has Mjolnir in this case, the tattered cape, the shorter hair, beard. So when Thor chose to be unworthy, he lost his powers. He put down Mjolnir and claimed himself not worthy of being called Thor or having the powers of Thor. He got the cape, he got the arm to try to hide himself and blend into a different kind of crowd. Now, if you take a look at his iconic missions, we'll kind of see what storyline they wanted to go with here. So here we have the war table, and if we go on over to the Scandinavian Highlands, which the only thing that happens in this region right now as it stands are Thor's two iconic missions, the Agents of Thunder and the Mistaken Identity. Now, during these iconic missions, they're after to see who's trying to call themselves Thor, who's talking of the Woken and being mysterious and running away every time the Avengers are about to catch them, kind of hinting towards, oh, there's Loki in this, and he's trying to be Thor and trick them and take over the mantle of being Thor, as Thor seemingly could be unworthy and lose the abilities of Mjolnir, which would be kind of difficult to do in the game, as it would cause a lot of cosmetic issues and have to bring in a new hero or a new villain with Thor's abilities and the hammer. So obviously I can see kind of like why they would cut that out or not want to go that route, but it's very interesting to see how this story ends with an Adaptoid attacking us and then just kind of leaving it up in the air and hopefully getting Loki or some kind of more resolute answer to Thor's story mission within the next couple of DLCs that we get with this game. Now, something else I want to kind of bring up and talk about in the Thor storyline is that when Thor was reintroduced into the campaign, he actually wasn't supposed to have the long hair. Now, like we saw with the Unworthy skin and in the Unworthy comic series that did this 5-issue running, Thor actually cut his hair. He lost the golden locks. He didn't have them. They were kind of a symbol of who Thor was. To him, Thor's not his name, it's his abilities. His powers are called Thor. He is just Odinson, who is able to harness those powers and worthy enough to wield them and use them for his purposes. So to kind of change how his hair was supposed to be, that was kind of caused by a lot of people speaking out when they first released the cosmetics for the game and how they didn't look like the MCU characters. They didn't look like the comic characters. They just were their own representations. They drew from each, of course, and had similarities, but a lot of differences. And it just kind of showed that people didn't like the new Avengers that we were being shown. They didn't want to introduce like a bald Thor or something else that would cause the people not to want to buy the game, even though there were many other issues to not buy the game. But not speaking of that, we kind of saw how they changed it to fit the social perception of what Thor was supposed to be, which I thought was interesting, and I kind of wish they didn't. I'd rather see, like, what's your plan? You guys made the game. What do you have for us? You're informing us. Don't us inform you. Don't have our social perception change how you want to perceive your game. So that's something I would have liked to have seen in the game, is bringing in Thor with the full Unworthy outfit right then and there. That would have been kind of cool, and then gain his normal outfit, the classic Odin look and Thor look that he had. But of course, we will never know, and hopefully we will find out within the next couple of DLCs, or maybe the mystery character is Jane Foster and she can shed some light on Thor and what his story was supposed to be or is. Or maybe Jane Foster was this Thor imposter that was running around leading the Woken kind of thing. That could be a thing. That could be a thing. But let me know in the comments below what you think. Should Thor have a more advanced storyline? Should they go back and revisit it? Should they keep introducing some missions to fill in where Thor came in? Because the campaign and the story is really good in this game. It's something that I would kind of like to see like progress a little bit, not just with like missions, but introducing like how did Thor come this way, and what is this mystery character that's causing like these cults and the Woken to come. So something to take a look at. But let me know in the comments below what you think, and I will see you all in the next video. As always, stay amazing, and until next time, bye bye.